a path untold, every heart worth more than gold. One light becomes another flame, no one rises all the same. Hand in hand the circle grows, stronger everywhere it flows. We build together, we rise as one, every journey has begun. Discovery lights the way, knowledge turns the night to day. Side by side we stand and see what tomorrow still can be. One network, endless possibility. Beyond the shelves where wisdom sleeps, the promise every dreamer keeps. Open every hidden door, find the life you're searching for. Light the lands and turn the page, every soul becomes a sage. Share the knowledge, break the chains, hope is built where courage remains. One light becomes another flame, no one rises all the same. Hand in hand the circle grows, stronger everywhere it flows. We build together, we rise as one, every journey has begun. Discovery lights the way, knowledge turns the night to day. Side by side we stand and see what tomorrow still can be. One network, endless possibility. One light becomes 1,000 more, knowledge shared becomes our power. Together we discover tomorrow. We don't wait for someone else, we become the change ourselves. Every lesson freely shared multiplies because we care. Learn, build, grow, let your purpose show. Every voice adds to the fire, every dream climbs higher. Not a throne, not a crown, but countless heads that won't back down. Every mind, every soul, every piece becomes the whole. One light becomes another flame, no one rises all the same. Hand in hand the circle grows, stronger everywhere it flows. We build together, we rise as one, every journey has begun. Discovery lights the way, knowledge turns the night to day. Side by side we stand and see what tomorrow still can be. One network, endless possibility. One light becomes 1,000 more, knowledge shared becomes our power. Together we discover tomorrow. The library is never closed, the journey never ends. Knowledge shared becomes a legacy, and strangers become friends. tale you've always known has a darker seed that's grown. Fairy wings and children's rhymes, hidden truths between the lines. Every monster, every name started somewhere just the same. Every warning leaves a scar. Every legend starts somewhere. Welcome to the dark origins, past the place where reason ends. Not to glorify the night, but to drag the truth to light. Every legend leaves a mark. Listen close, the silence speaks. Hidden corners is where the truth creeps. Forest paths and crooked trees, promises upon the breeze. Old believers drew the line between the sacred and divine. Names forgotten, graves erased. History still leaves a trace. Every nightmare, every cry has a reason buried by time. Truth survives when this decay, waiting for another day. Welcome to the dark origins, past the place where reason ends. Not to glorify the night, but to drag the truth to light. Every legend leaves a mark. Listen close, the silence speaks. Hidden corners is where the truth creeps.
Welcome in, welcome in.
No one knows where all roads lead. Fear was planted like a seed.
I hope you guys are ready.
Then folklore,
I learned some things with this one. Maybe I was just
stands alone.
not as educated, but I did have fun with this one and I did learn some things. So I'm glad you guys are here with me.
Welcome to the dark origins, past the place where reason ends.
Hello, new person. Welcome in.
But to drag the truth to light.
Welcome to Dark Origins on the DSD network.
Listen close, the silence speaks. Hidden in corners is where the truth creeps.
Oh,
So before you tell the tale, ask where it came from.
can't cut the music short. Love it. All right. Well, that'll be enough of that. That'll be enough of that. Let's start off with a chat check. Let's start it off with a chat check. Before I even introduce myself, let me see what's going on over here. All right. Let's see. First, we got Common Circles. Welcome in, ma'am. Welcome in. Glad to hear you're doing well and you're enjoying your time with your family. Welcome in, Mr. Charles Darwin. Welcome in, Pechuchin. Again, hello to the new person. Welcome in. You guys came over here from Jake? Oh, I'm going to have to really watch it now. Oh, it must have been bad. Oh, but anyways, that's a different topic. Anyways, welcome to Dark Origins with Darkside Deaconess. That's me. And I am the host of the show and the owner of the channel, DSD Network. See that? That right there, DSD. And, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. Let's do some housekeeping. Let's get rid of that ticker down there because, well, you're here. I hope you enjoyed the music. I threw a little bit of like a longer intro into my Dark Origins theme. I hope you enjoyed it. I like that kind of music, all orchestral and guitars and stuff. Anyways, let's get rid of that bad boy. Like that. Okay, if you haven't noticed, you probably have. There's a GoFundMe QR code up there in the upper right corner. And that is what this channel is really doing. It is the core component of that GoFundMe. And I am the, it's my fundraiser. It's for me. I didn't know how else to say that. If you want more information, you can scan that QR code just to read my story if you would like. And if you feel led and you feel charitable, you can donate that way. I will have this going down here at the bottom because any donations can be sent to one of the links pinned in chat or via the QR code in the upper right-hand corner over there. All right. So there's a poll also. You'll go ahead and take care of that one if you're not too scared of the thumb. All right, that was cheesy and maybe a little cringe. Anyways, I kind of want to jump right into this because, like I said, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. So I also was talking to another person this morning about how I think I'm going to scare the crap out of myself with this one, starting right off from the rip. Okay. So if I start getting a little squirmy, it's because I'm scaring the shit out of myself. This Dark Origins happens at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a reason, because, well, we go into some dark spaces, and what better time to do it than at nighttime? I know for other people it's not so late, but for us here on the East Coast, it's pretty late. So let's get right into it. So we're going to turn off the lights, and we're going to go into the bathroom. First, we have to go into the bathroom. We're going to go to the bathroom. You're going to turn off the lights. And you're going to close the bathroom door. And you're going to stand in front of the mirror. And you're going to say her name. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. I can't even look at myself. Bloody Mary. And then wait. Depending on who taught you the game, what happens next might be different. It changes. Maybe a woman's face appears before you. Maybe the mirror fills with blood. Maybe she scratches you. Maybe she reaches through the glass. Maybe she kills you. Or maybe nothing happens at all. But even if nothing happens, there usually is one moment when you stare into the dark mirror just a little longer than you probably should, and your reflection starts looking a little wonky. Just a little wonky, maybe. Most of us encountered Bloody Mary as children. I know that there are some that have not, but most of us over here in the United States, I think, have. And nobody handed us a book explaining the rules. I literally did not know the origins behind this until I started really looking into it. And it's really, I didn't know it was going to take me where it did. And I'm also going to walk carefully through that because I really try hard not to do like conspiracy theories or dark origin things that get me like stuck in a religious thing. And I just try to stay away from that. This one took me there, but I'm going to walk through that as carefully as I can. So anyways, there weren't any official Bloody Mary instruction manual passed around at elementary schools. A friend an older sibling, a cousin, someone at a sleepover who absolutely swore that another kid tried it and something happened, which was, for me, that's the way it occurred for me. At a slumber party, and you go in the bathroom and you shut the door, you turn the lights off, and you do it. And I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure most people, some kids probably didn't see anything and they just wanted to say they did, but we'll just keep going. So modern folklore archives continue to document exactly this kind of transmission. So it's not gone away. The details change, but the basic structure remains remarkably recognizable. Children, often around elementary school age, maybe middle school, they enter a bathroom, darken the room, look in the mirror, repeat it, and wait for an apparition. This leads us actually to our first source. So let me go ahead and get that brought up for us. I did realize what was causing my, hi Navy Bree, the basement bathroom at the elementary was said to be haunted by her. That's funny. Oh, hold on. Oh, hello, infected mushrooms. Is that makeup? What? Am I not allowed to am I not allowed to soften these old lady lines a little bit? Just a little bit. Anyways, let's get back to the source. Also, I think I found out what was causing my audio doubling. I don't think I can be sharing my screen from even a different visual source and play the music in StreamYard. I think that's what the issue was. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this one. Hold on, let me get myself up here in the corner where I like to be. Let's do it. Add this bad boy to the stage. Shut up. Go away. I'm just kidding. Stay here. Busted. All right, anyways, let's get to this. So this is the USC Digital Folklore Archives. Goes down here. You've got, let me get this much bigger because why? Because I'm old and blind. All right, so this is 2023. So this is obviously an article written by a student. See that right there, a Filipino one. So when asked for a folk narrative, the informant shared the below legend. When I was a kid, there was scariest thing you could dare someone to do was turn out the lights of the bathroom and dare them to go in and say Bloody Mary 3 times in front of the mirror. Legend has it that if you did this, she would appear in the mirror and try to kill you. Naturally, it was very popular at preteen slumber parties. At the time, no one really knew or cared who Bloody Mary was. I had no idea until I started looking this up. And again, I had so much fun with it, obviously. I'm excited to share it with you. And I'm trying to be scary, creepy, silly, but I'm just too excited. So anyways, all we did know was that the chances of a ghost appearing in the mirror was always low, but never zero, which was what induced fear in us all. For context, this was the most popular when I was in 5th grade or so. Apparently, she might be based on the historical Marys at the time, the most popular being Mary I of England. And if you have taken a look at the source, then you do know that Mary I of England is the best candidate for this, but there are some other things that we'll get into that kind of lead us away from that. So, but not that she wasn't like one of the Marys, right? So, but her nickname was Bloody Mary. So that's why she's the best candidate. So, yeah, so we see here that even today, this is something that that is going on. So it's not something that stopped when I was in school. Queen of England. Yes. Henry VIII's oldest daughter and oldest child. Which is why I had no idea that I was walking into that territory when I started looking this up. And again, like I said, I'm going to be walking through that territory quite carefully. So it gets a little bit more interesting, right? Because we already know this. We didn't know who she was. Let me take a drink of my water real quick. We didn't know who she was. We didn't know where she came from. Was she a woman that was murdered? Was she a witch? Was she a mother who had lost her child? A queen? A spirit? Or was there actually no Mary at all? So we had no idea. Because long before children were calling Bloody Mary into the bathroom mirrors, people were already doing that. So they were already standing in front of mirrors in darkened rooms waiting for someone to appear. And tonight we're going to look into the origins of Bloody Mary. And yes, it's relatively dark, pretty dark. And we're going to start with the obvious question, who the hell is Mary? And I think I already kind of gave you a little bit of insight. Yeah. The number one candidate for me was Mary, the first Mary I, the first ruling queen of England. First ruling queen. See how I threw that in there? So, okay. So let's get into it. Before we start digging, though, there's no, like I already said, there's no single Bloody Mary ritual. Some of them, she would kill you. She would come out of the mirror. Blood would start dripping down the mirror. Her face would appear. A combination of those things. And that matters because folklore changes as people transmit it. It's like telephone, right? And in one version, you say her name 3 times. In another, sometimes you turn around, and sometimes there's a candle involved. Sometimes there isn't. Some versions that I found call her Mary Worth. Other versions I saw were Mary Wales. And some versions even add accusations involving a baby of Mary's. Folklorist Alan Dundes, as I think how you say his name, examined numerous variants of the ritual and pointed out precisely one problem. There isn't one standardized story explaining who Mary is. Just a bunch of explanations of rituals, but no identification of who she is. So that's going to take us to our second source. So let me go ahead and take this one down. And then let's do a chat check before we get up there to that second source here. I'll make myself big. Hello, back onto ya. Okay. I think you just broke up. Shut up. Stop. I hate when you guys do that. Wasn't she the chick with the axe? No, I don't know. See, there's so many stories. The way I heard it was that she would appear in the mirror. That's how I always heard it. That's the way I did it when I was a kid. I don't know about other people. Note to self, don't date chicks called Mary, or don't find a woman with a sister named Mary. Bloody Mary is not something you should put on your dating profile. People will have questions. Wait a minute, stop. I can't. I can't put that up on the screen. Stop. Okay. Modding in the background while you hang out with your parents. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Tell your parents I said thank you for sharing you with me during this time. I appreciate them for that. All right, let's get this second source pulled up here before I get too distracted. You guys are sometimes awful to me, but love you anyways, okay? All right, where's Dundee's thing? Dundee's? Is that, or is it Dundas? Dundee's or I don't know. Let's look at it anyways. Okay, let's do this. Oh no, I don't like that one. Put me in the corner. All right, and let's get that one bigger too, because why? Because I already said it, I'm blind. Okay, so back over here real quick. So when we look at his writing here, this was done in 1998. I was 17. And this is published by the Western States Folklore Society. Again, all of these sources are in the chat, every single one of them. I changed one from the original posting. So if you're using the last one in the source list in the video description, I changed it. I couldn't get the PubMed journal, so I had to get it a different way. So there's that. All right. Let me see. Yes, here. I would like to illustrate this disappointing facet of folkloristics by examining one single tradition ritual found in American folklore. It has also been reported in Newfoundland, 1996. After surveying what little is known about the ritual, I will propose an interpretation of it which I believe will make perfectly clear what the ritual is all about. In 1976, Mary and Herbert Knapp, in their analogy of American children's folklore, devote a whole paragraph and a general discussion of what they term scaries to the following item. One child told us scaries. I like that. One child told us she was always too chicken to summon Mary Worth. She said, I knew I'd really be scared, and really being scared is no fun. A child summons Mary Worth, alias Bloody Mary, alias Mary Jane, by going in. I don't know about Mary Jane. I'm sorry. But I would definitely go into the bathroom and summon Mary Jane. So by going into the bathroom alone at night, that's why this is an adult channel and not made for children. Turning out the lights, staring into the mirror, and repeating Mary Worth softly but distinctly 47 times. Of course you're. Oh, okay. She comes at you out of the mirror with a knife in her hand and a wart on her nose. Never when we read Mary Worth comic strips did we dream that the respectable busybody was moonlighting as a mirror witch. Here we have most of the primary elements of this ritual. A child, almost always a girl, goes into a bathroom at night or at school in the dark and repeats the name Mary in some form which supposedly results in a frightening creature named Mary emerging from out of the bathroom mirror. Folklorist Simon J. Bronner, in his 1988 American Children's Folklore, included an entire page of discussion of what he called Mary Worth rituals. He described the ritual as a girl's tradition common in elementary schools, which invokes atmosphere of seance. Whoever the Mary figure is, Bronner indicates that the participants are huddled typically in a bathroom with the lights turned off and that they have to really believe in her or else she won't appear. This in his notes to his text, Bronner remarks that Bloody Mary is yet another name for variations of Mary Worth rituals. One of the 5 texts Bronner reports collected from a male informant from Middletown, Pennsylvania in 1984 as follows. So you can go on to read more about this, but what he is talking about there is that there are so many there's so many different rituals. It's really hard to, I know, 47 times. It's really hard to pin down like exactly where it comes from, especially when we get a little further in. So let's keep on moving. Let's keep on moving. All right, I'll go ahead and I am going to drop that one. Go away. What is happening? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop that. Sorry, let's get back to it. Okay, so again, there's not one standardized story explaining who she is, just a bunch of explanations, right? So that's our first clue, like I said. Because if this legend began with one identifiable historical woman, we might reasonably expect some consistent memory of her story. So instead, we have something different. We have a remarkably persistent ritual attached to an unstable identity, just a name, a few names. And so, like I said, let's meet the most famous suspect. Is this the real Bloody Mary? So Mary Tudor, born in 1516, she was the daughter of King Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. Now, many of the people who subscribe to my channel who already know this because they're church history buffs, I'm sorry that I didn't know this. Or at least I didn't know that Mary, I didn't know that this was, yeah, okay, let's just keep going. So she was the daughter of King Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. And if those names sound familiar, they should. Henry VIII's marital situation eventually helped tear England away from papal authority, producing one of history's messier combinations of theology, politics, marriage, and government. Two of those things I don't really like to talk about. And in that mess, Mary remained Catholic, and she hid that. By the way, she hid that, and when she eventually became Queen Mary I in 1553, she attempted to return England to Roman Catholicism, and well, this is where her reputation gets a little bloody. So it gets a lot more messy. And Mary restored England's heresy laws, and beginning in, 1555, Protestant dissenters were burned at the stake. Around 300 of them were executed by burning during the Marian persecutions. So there's that. Call me stupid if you want to, because I did not know that this was where this was going to lead me, okay? I had no idea. I'm so sorry. My subscribers know I try to stay away from stories that do this, but here we are. So, got to keep going. So that brings us to source 3. Why are all cats evil? Am I missing something? All cats are evil? All? Okay. Let's do a chat check before I get to moving on. Dr. Functional, hello, welcome in. I know, right? We are not kid friendly here. What are you gonna get banned for? What'd you do? What's mushroom. I see what you said. You stop that. All right. Anyways, let's get to that third source. Please, lady, shut up and get to the content. Which one are we on? All right. We are on Mary I, first crowned Queen of England. Now, remember, there were other queens, right? Because kings have queens, right? But she was like the first ruling queen. There was no man helping her. She's just doing this on her own, which is why she probably didn't think it through when she burned all those Protestants, or maybe she did. Hell, I don't know. But anyways, shut up, lady. Let's go. Again, I hate that setup. Up here, yes. Okay. To our source. Sure. All right. Mary I, England's first crowned queen, the true story behind the bloody Tudor queen. Now, this is according to, I don't know. Let's see how legit, it looks kind of legit to me. All right, so Mary I was the first uncontested queen regent of England, the daughter of Henry VIII and his first queen, Catherine of Aragon. She boasted a formidable bloodline that encompassed both the English and Spanish royal families. For the first 17 years of her life, Mary was the sole heir to the Tudor dynasty, but upon the annulment of her parents' marriage, she was declared illegitimate and supplanted first by her half-sister, Elizabeth, the future Elizabeth I, who, well, I'd like to have words with her. But anyways, and then her half-brother, Edward, the future Edward VI, who, well, he died. Against odds, Mary succeeded to the throne in 1553, but her brief turbulent reign, during which she tried to overturn her father's religious reforms, earned her, this is that sobriquet or sobriquet? Sobriquet, Bloody Mary. So, Interesting. I watched some stuff on her. Some other content creators, have done like documentaries on it, and I watched some of those. They're very enjoyable. I'm not going to show those to you because, well, I'm trying to be one of them. But they do like all the animated stuff, and I don't want to do that. I want to do more of this kind. I like this better. Your cat sleeping on the couch behind you. Okay, so yeah. All right. So among the Protestants that she took out were Hugh Latimer, Nicholas Ridley, and Thomas Cranmer. And like I said, the executions were real. They were pretty bloody, pretty horrific. Pretty bad. Really, really bad. That was really bad. Anyways, they were horrific, and Mary's reputation became permanently associated with them. Obviously, when you do something like that and you order 300 people be burned at the stake, burned alive, like you weren't even beheading them or nothing. It wasn't a quick death. It was a slow burn. That's savage. I'm just saying. But a lot with that, there's an important historical complication here. So the image of Mary as uniquely monstrous was also shaped by the religious conflict that followed her death. Mary died in 1558, and then her Protestant half-sister Elizabeth I, so the first Queen Elizabeth of England, succeeded her. And in 1563, Protestant writer John Foxe published what became popularly known as Foxe's Book of Martyrs. And this chronicled Protestant suffering under Catholic authorities. Foxe's work became enormously influential in shaping later English perceptions of Mary, and historians today therefore distinguish between the very real Marian persecutions and the later construction of Mary as an almost singular embodiment of Catholic tyranny. And that actually brings us to source 4. So I'm going to drop this awesome illustration of Mary off of my Yas. Get rid of that. Bring source 4 up, please. And we are going to that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Mary 1. Mary 1. Yes, this one. Sorry. 2 of the tabs, the little icon kind of looks the same when you're old and blind. So let's get her up here with us. Oh, yes, there we go. Another wonderful image illustration of Queen Mary. So I'm going to make this big right here. So Mary I was the first queen regent, that is queen reigning in her own right rather than a queen ruling through marriage to a king. Courageous and stubborn, her character was molded by her early years as an act of parliament in 1533 had declared her illegitimate and removed her from the succession to the throne. She was reinstated in 1544, but her half-brother Edward removed her from the succession once more shortly before his death. Oh yeah, and like threw their like distant cousin into like this teenage girl into the position of queen. I don't know, like just it. What? Yeah, that lasted like what? 20, I don't know, it wasn't very long. I forget that his like distant cousin, they threw her onto the throne. It was weird. Anyways, um, while she was pressurized to give up the mass and acknowledge the English Protestant Church, Mary restored papal supremacy in England, abandoning the title of supreme head of the church, reintroduced Roman Catholic bishops, and began the slow reintroduction of monastic orders. I'm going to take a drink because my mouth's about to fall off. Mary also revived the old heresy laws to secure the religious conversion of the country. Heresy was regarded as a religious and civil offense amounting to treason. To believe in a different religion from the sovereign was an act of defiance and disloyalty. As a result, around 300 Protestants, I think historians agree that is they collectively agree that is a good estimate, rough estimate. And again, like I said, Thomas Cranmer, the former Archbishop and author of 2 books of Common Prayer, Latimer and Ridley, these heretics were mostly poor and self-taught people. So in 3 years' time. Apart from making Mary deeply unpopular, such treatment demonstrated that people were prepared to die for the Protestant settlement established in Henry's reign. The progress of Mary's conversion of the country was also limited by the vested interest in the aristocracy and gentry who had bought the monastic lands sold off after the dissolution of the monasteries and who refused to return these possessions voluntarily as Mary invited them to do. So that's kind of difficult. Aged 37 at her accession, Mary wished to marry and have children. Let me see if, that's pretty much it about that. She bore no children. So there was no male heir. She gave no male heir. And then, so Elizabeth succeeded her. All right, let's go ahead and remove that one and put me right back up here. Do a chat check before we move on. Okay. Like bacon too much. Mary was a hottie, huh? Yeah. Yeah, she'll set you on fire. That's how hot she was. All right. So where was we going? Oh, yes, we was moving on. I was doing a chat check. Not too much going on there. So Mary Tudor really did persecute Protestants, but history also turned Mary Tudor into a symbol. And eventually that symbol acquired a name, and that name that we know today is Bloody Mary. We can't say case closed here because there are other names that we see that were used, right? Mary Worth, Mary Jane, Mary Wales. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. You make me act goofy. You guys do that, okay? Anyways. So is the ghost Mary Tudor? I don't know. I still, because there's other names that have been presented in the other sources before I got to this one. So we have a problem, right? Mary Tudor was not Mary Worth. There's no reference of her as Mary Wales. Other than Bloody Mary, Mary Tudor is known as the first reigning queen of England without a husband, and not like her. Yeah. So, so was she a queen? Maybe. Was she a witch? Still maybe. Was she a murdered woman? Still maybe. And because through all the stories, no one actually says, well, the Bloody Mary that I did in the mirror, it was the Queen of England. No, like nobody told you that. Nobody told me that. I didn't know what it was, again, until I started looking it up. I hate that I got into this stupid religious stuff, but here we are. So here's the problem with identifying the bathroom ghost as Mary Tudor. So we don't have good evidence demonstrating that the children's mirror ritual originated as a ritual for summoning Queen Mary I, right? So there's no evidence of that. And like I've already said, the name is perfect. It makes it look like it's a case closed thing. The imagery works beautifully, and a queen remembered as Bloody Mary appearing covered in blood. Perfect horror story. I mean, I did it as a kid. But a compelling association isn't the same as historical evidence, so we keep looking. And folklore researchers documented Bloody Mary traditions containing completely different identities. Like I said, we have Mary Wales. They would say the one, Lord have mercy, Janet Langlois, I think it's Langlois, worked on an early study where she writes about a ritual known as Mary Wales, I Believe in You. And this is based on material collected in Indiana. So later, Alan Dundee's, the second source that we looked at regarding the Western folklore, the Bloody Mary and the mirror, a ritual reflection of prepubescent anxiety is what we were looking at, having to do with the going into the bathroom and turning off the lights and closing the door and saying the name in the mirror. That was that. So that's second source. And that, like I said, like the names in the narrative shifted. We got Mary Worth, Mary Wales, Bloody Mary, different chants, different consequences, different backstories. And that suggests that something fascinating, because maybe we've been asking the wrong questions. And instead of asking who was she, so who was Bloody Mary, maybe we should ask what were people doing with mirrors before Bloody Mary appeared. Well, that's where I found out that this rabbit hole gets considerably older than what we've already found, because before Bloody Mary, they had this thing that we're going to get into. So imagine you're a young woman living more than a century ago and Halloween arrives. It's not modern times, so we don't have TikTok, no Facebook, none of that to stream or any of that. You don't have horror movies. You don't have Reddit explaining why the noise in your attic is definitely either plumbing or a Victorian child. But you do have a mirror, right? And folklore tells you that under the correct conditions, your mirror might show you your future husband. Are you doing it, ladies? Are you doing it? In 1919, Ruth Edna Kelly published the Book of Halloween, documenting older Halloween customs. And some of them should sound suspiciously familiar. Kelly describes girls sitting before mirrors around midnight, sometimes eating an apple or combing their hair, expecting the face of their future lover to appear in the reflection. Another custom involved a girl walking backward down cellar stairs while carrying a candle and a mirror, expecting a face to appear in the glass. And that brings us to source 5. And so let's get that brought up. Well, hold on. Where'd you guys go? Oh, there you are. I found you. Hold on. I'll be right back. Oh, wait. What happened? Okay, there we are. Sorry. There you are. Stop sharing. And then share the next one. This one? Yes, this one. All right, so this is source 5 in the list. Again, the list is in the video description. Now, all the sources for Dark Origins and Conspiracy Grove, both shows, will always have the sources listed in the description. If there's any issues with the sources, I'll swap them out. So just make sure that the links that are in there the day, like when I'm live, are the same as before, if you're following the links. All right, so we've got this pulled up. So the myth of Bloody Mary, England's first queen. History remembers Mary I as a murderous monster who burned 100 of her subjects at the stake, but the real story of the Tudor monarch is far more nuanced. So the first woman to rule England in her own right didn't simply inherit the throne. She seized it with unprecedented ambition from those who sought to thwart her. Yeah, that's true. She did get like the whole countryside to rally and whatnot. Historian Sarah Gristwood describes the ascension of Mary I as a staggeringly bold course of action undertaken with little chance of success. After unseating Lady Jane Grey, the 9-day queen, Mary rode into London on August 3rd, 1553, to widespread acclaim. In the words of historian Alison Weir, it was said that no one could remember there ever have been public rejoicing such as this. Centuries later, however, the Tudor queen is remembered as one of the most reveled figures in English history. I never know how to say that word. Somebody better tell me. Bloody Mary. This is a story of how a heroic underdog became a monarch who was then mythologized as a violent, is that despot? You can make fun of me. I don't know how to say that one. Despite being no bloodier than her father, Henry VIII, or many other English monarchs, its tale of sexism, shifting national identity, and good old-fashioned propaganda, all of which coalesced to create the image of an unchecked tyrant that endures today. So this gives a little bit of, we already saw her birth. We already read about that. This gives a little bit more information into, like, he was married to like 7 women, I think, 6, a lot. He had a lot of wives. And he wasn't really supposed to get divorced as a Catholic, but the Pope said that he couldn't divorce the first queen, and he was like, "Fuck you! I'm not Catholic anymore. I'm getting my own church, and I'm going to take another wife." And that's what he did. Some of that, don't hate the player, hate the game. Am I right? Anyways, I'm kidding. That's so degenerate. Yeah, so again, this goes a little bit more into it. It was pretty bad. According to history, they treated her pretty badly after all of that happened. But after her mother was like tashed in the garbage. Oh, yes. Let's see. It just goes a little bit more into it. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. All right, hold on. Down here. Oh, yeah. There's fun burning out of my life. Mm-hmm. Make these things go away. We already know all of that. These illustrations are really cool, though. But you can look at those on your own. I need to get down to... Hold on. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to watch that, but there it is. I know I'm scanning through this. I'm looking for something specific, and I should have marked it, and I didn't. Did I mark it somewhere? All right. Well, I'm sorry. I was looking for something specific and I can't find it. Unless I completely missed it. So I do apologize. Well, thank you for removing that. Okay. Well, I do apologize. I couldn't find what I was looking for. So I'll just come here and do a chat check. Who found $1 in your pocket? I'm rich, bitch. This was in the 16th century, so I know that there's a conspiracy theory with Queen Elizabeth, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's the same Queen Elizabeth. I'll have to look. I'll look, because if it is, I'll definitely think about doing a conspiracy grove on Queen Elizabeth, the first Queen of Elizabeth, the first Elizabeth I of England, Henry VIII's daughter. If that's the same Elizabeth that I'm thinking about with the conspiracy theory, I'll definitely do that one to tie it into this Dark Origins. I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, so you're talking about Anne Boleyn. Queen Anne Boleyn was one of Henry VIII's wife, and I believe no, yeah, he had her beheaded. Unstable much, dude. Anyways, let's get back to this. Sorry I couldn't find that source. That was a little bit embarrassing, or the part what I was looking for. So we'll go back to the way that Ruth Edna Kelly described it: a young person, darkened environment, mirror ritual actions, expectation that another person's face will appear in the reflection. That is not Bloody Mary, but structurally it's really close. And these weren't originally about summoning a murderous ghost. It was originally about like seeing your future husband in the mirror. But they were forms of divination, and the mirror was supposed to reveal something hidden, usually the future, sometimes love, sometimes death, and occasionally the distinction between the two the distinction was unpleasantly thin. So some traditions warned that instead of seeing a future husband, the participant might see something representing death. So they go in thinking that they're going to see their future husband, and it shows them a different fate. So, this all happened prior to the 15th century, like way before the 15th century. But we have, and we do, treat reflective surfaces as strange objects have treated them as strange objects for a very long time. And I understand this one. For most of human history, seeing a perfectly recognizable copy of yourself staring back at you was an ordinary experience involving fluorescent bathroom lighting and regrettable hair decisions, right? But the longer you stare, it's like why it's not fun to like look at yourself here. because you're like for hours staring at the camera and like seeing yourself on the screen. You like really start to look and you're like, is that, and it's like looking in the mirror for too long, right? Things start to get look a little goofy. And no, I didn't smoke too much. But the reflection can feel uncanny, and mirror divination is often called, I'm trying to pronounce this word, okay? Catoptromancy. 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 Oh, hello, Abel. Abel has arrived, everyone. Fantastic. Hi, Abel. Oh, I can't turn my camera off. Son of a gun. Anyways, catoptromancy. I think that's how you say that word. Or catoptromancy. I know you guys can't tell me how to say it, but something like that. But the underlying concept is pretty simple. A reflective surface can reveal information unavailable through ordinary perception, right? So various cultures developed practices involving mirrors, polished surface, or reflective water. Like, have you ever heard of like the tradition of like the touch the water and whatever you see in the like the ripples? So by the time Bloody Mary folklore emerged, humanity had already possessed an enormous symbolic vocabulary surrounding reflections. Mirrors could reveal, mirrors could predict, mirrors could deceive, mirrors could show something that wasn't supposed to be there. And then children's folklore did what folklore does. It changed. The future husband disappeared. Something else took his place. A woman, a dead woman, a dangerous woman. Dude, she was savage. Mary, this Mary chick. And so this is one of the most interesting possible evolutionary paths of the legend. And I really want to be careful with my wording. Like I said, I hate treading in this territory, but I thought this story was really interesting. So here we go. We cannot prove a clean historical chain that goes old mirror divination straight to Bloody Mary. Folklore rarely leaves us that kind of paperwork. Most of it is spoken, right? So, but the similarities are substantial enough to be worth examining, right? The older rituals involved darkness, mirrors, prescribed actions, anticipation, young participants, supernatural revelation, the appearance of another's face. And Bloody Mary retains almost every single one of those elements. But it changes the question. The older participant asks, who will I marry? The modern participant asks, is something going to come through the mirror and murder me? Like two very different questions, right? So apparently childhood entertainment required some revisions. And this transformation tells us something important about folklore. Traditions don't necessarily disappear. Sometimes their meaning changes while their structure survives. And a divination ritual can become a dare. A prediction can become a haunting. A future lover can become a dead woman. And eventually nobody remembers why they're even standing in front of the fucking mirror anyways. We just know the rules. We turn off the light. We say the name and we wait. And we just wait. Right? So now I'm going to bring in another candidate, right? We just went through all of that with Mary Tudor. So now, let's do a chat check first. Slow down, DSD. Let's do a chat check. Yes, it was after. Please send money, meow. 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 Yeah, if you want to. I appreciate it. I could use it. If you click that QR code up right there, you'll know why I asked for the donations. I do this channel. I provide this content. A little bit of grift break there, I guess. Thanks for the reminder there, T-Man. If you're feeling charitable and you're enjoying the content, there are others like it. Some of them, I'm getting better, I think, at presenting each show. each topic gets a little bit more interesting for me. I really like digging into the ones that I don't know anything about. Again, I had a lot of fun with this. Also, I'm not as scared as I thought I was going to be, but I also haven't looked to my left, which I know is right for you guys, but it's for me, that's the left, because that's where my window is. So just saying. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Hello, Abel. Nice to see you again, sir. Welcome in. Cat top tremancy. Cat top tremancy. Yes, stress at my cat. Stares at my cat. Oh, hello, Lawrence. Welcome in. He says, hail to Lady Darkside, Deaconess, the Crystal Princess. I might just be. All right. We got quite a bit left to cover, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. So the next one I had was Mary Worth, and various Bloody Mary traditions identify the apparition by that name. But once again, attempts to locate one definitive historical Mary Worth responsible for the entire legend. I couldn't find any documentation that gave that, just like this whole time. But the name appears within the folklore itself. So, I mean, it's there, but that doesn't automatically establish that there was a historical Mary Worth whose death created the legend. We don't know if this was a real person. That we would need some type of historical evidence to prove that this person actually existed, and I have not discovered that. If somebody else has evidence that, if anybody knows, has like any historical evidence of who the real Bloody Mary is, hit me up. I love to know. And like anything else, obviously, like I love to hear what other people have to say. Leave your comments. If you're watching live, obviously, live comments. If you're watching the replay, drop the comments. Let me know what you did as a kid. If you did this ritual, which version of it you did. I know that I do have some like viewers from other countries and other continents. So if there's a version or like something else that's out there, I would love to hear those stories in the chat. So again, no historical Mary Worth. And like I'll tell you, it's important that we have that some kind of some kind of historical evidence proving she's a real person. Because a character having a name does not prove that the character originated from a real person who had that name. Folklore loves retroactive biographies, right? They're working their set way backwards because usually it's all oral tradition, right? Folklore is passed down mostly through oral tradition. So once someone asks who was Mary, storytellers begin supplying answers. One says she's a witch. One says she's a woman who was murdered. One says she was the murderer. One says she lost a child. One says she committed schmooshmag. One say that she was buried alive. I got a story to tell you guys about being buried alive. But anyways, each explanation makes the ritual feel older and more authentic. But contradictory origin stories are often evidence of folklore evolving, not evidence that we found multiple historical records. So at this point, our investigation has produced something strange. We have Queen Mary I, a real historical woman called Bloody Mary. Mary Worth, a name embedded in some versions of the folklore. Older mirror divination traditions that don't involve either woman. And a modern ritual that seems perfectly happy to borrow from all of them. But we still haven't explained the most important part. Why do people actually see something? Because people say they see something. Why? And we know, we already talked about it. Like if you stare at yourself in the mirror long enough, I mean, shit, light a camera, go in the bathroom right now. Would you do it? Go in the bathroom right now. That one says you have to say Mary Worth like 47 times. Stare at yourself in the mirror with the light off and the door closed and a candle burning next to you and say Bloody Mary 47 times. Change the ritual and see if like you're staring at yourself long enough to say Bloody Mary 47 times, like something is going to distort, right? So, and people swear that they see things. Abel says, just don't do it. There it is. Just don't do it. Oh, where the hell? Your chat's moving too fast for me to click on the message to show it. Abel says, just don't do it. Oral tradition by tongue. I hope I never see her. I'd rather see Mother Mary. Amen. I'm like over here like, shoot. No, please. But I never saw anything as a kid. I have stared at myself in the mirror long enough to watch, like, to see, like, don't ask, okay? Let's move on. Let's move on. Shut up, lady. You're talking too much. All right. So again, some people swear that they see things. And so this is where the Bloody Mary story leaves the folklore part and walks straight into a psychology experiment, right? So there was a psychologist named Giovanni Caputo. In 2010, he published an experiment with an almost ridiculously appropriate title, Strange Face in the Mirror Illusion. Participants stared at their own faces. Now, I do have this as a source, okay? It is the last source on the list, I think. Let me check. If you guys want to. Oh, hold on. Okay. Oh, I wasn't there long enough. Continue. I left the page for too long. It's researchgate.net. And you can get a good bit of the article. It was the latest revision was done in 2010 to this one. So I'll look at it. I'll bring it up in a minute. So participants stared at their own faces in a mirror under low lighting. And they did this approximately 10 times. And something peculiar happened. Participants reported substantial changes in what they perceived. Some saw distorted versions of their own faces. Some perceived unfamiliar faces. Some reported monstrous or archetypal faces. I never know how to say it. I don't know if it's typal or archetypal faces. And others perceived the faces of relatives or deceased people. So now I should have just brought it up. I will bring up that source, Giovanni Caputo. I don't know how to say that. Caput. I know what that means. Caput. There it is right there. Sorry, I'm blind. I'm old. Don't judge me. Can't see. Okay, here we go. But I can see this. So here's the source stuff. Here's the website. The link is in the chat. Go away. Bye. All right. So here we go. I describe a visual illusion which occurs when an observer sees his or her image reflected in a mirror in a dimly lit room. This illusion can be easily experienced and replicated as the details of the setting, in particular the room illumination, are not critical. These observations were made in a quiet room, dimly lit by a 25-watt incandescent light. The lamp was placed on the floor behind the observer so that it was not visible either directly or in the mirror. A relatively large mirror was placed about 0.4 meters in front of the observer. Luminance of the reflected face image within the mirror was about that. I don't know how to read that. And this level allowed detailed perception of fine face traits, but attenuated color perception. The illusion occurred even at higher levels of illumination of observer's face. The task of the observer was to gaze at his or her reflected face within the mirror. Usually after less than a minute, the observer began to perceive the strange face illusion. Descriptions were made by 50 naive individuals, age range 21 to 29. They had to do it 10 times, and they had to write what they saw. Now, I'm sure that the psychologist accounted for false reporting, right? Because people lie. But there's a little bit about that. What is going on? Hello, lady. Where did I go? Oh, there I am. Oh, I didn't mean to be down there. How am I down there? Supposed to be up here. Hello. Here I am. Up here. Wait a sec. DSD isn't staring into a form of a mirror and saying it multiple times right now, or does it need to be consecutively? Listen, I'm staring into a mirror. It's called my camera, and on my screen is me staring back at me. That's why I try not to stare at it, because girl, let me tell you, stare at the mirror long enough. Anyways, welcome in, ma'am. It's good to see you. She says, I've always thought it was at best a silly parlor trick, and at worst demon summoning. Never did it. I did it. Hello, Pager CC. All right, let's get back to this. So there's that describing what happens. And again, I'm sure that as a renowned person, psychologist, that he accounted for fibbing. Okay. So we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is what I already kind of read there, and that's the peculiar thing, right? Because they reported substantial changes in what they perceived, and we'll just go ahead and say that a good portion of them did, based on the information that's been given to us. And some saw distorted versions of their own faces, some perceived unfamiliar, but nobody had summoned Bloody Mary. So you didn't have to sit down and say Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. But the thing with the face still happened. They were just staring at themselves. So dark room, limited visual information, prolonged staring, expectation, fear. Your brain then has to interpret the unusual visual image, especially if you've got a candle in there and it's like flickering. The human perception is not a camera. The image of your face in the mirror becomes unstable because of the flickering of the candle. And it's just trying to continuously process that. And when the information becomes poor or ambiguous, perception can become strange. Features may seem to distort, parts of the face can fade, expressions seem to change, and suddenly the person in the mirror it's not you, right? Doesn't look like you. So away from that, and we'll bring the folklore back in, right? So the perfect psychological trap. You're 12 years old, okay? Your friends have told you a murdered woman will appear. You turn off the lights. Your heart rate is elevated. You're staring intensely into a mirror, and everybody is waiting. Somebody whispers, "Did you see that?" And then your reflection changes. Not because the mirror changed, but because your perception did. You heard somebody say, "Did you see that?" You thought that something was happening, so you saw something happen, right? One person screams, everybody runs, and tomorrow at school, everybody's saying, "We saw her." It doesn't mean anybody lied. So it's important to remember that. A person can sincerely report an experience without the supernatural explanation for that experience being correct, right? They do believe that it's true, so technically it's not a lie. It's just based off of distorted shit. And so that's one reason legends like Bloody Mary survive. They don't require someone to fabricate an encounter. The ritual itself can produce an unsettling perceptual experience. Folklore provides the interpretation. The brain supplies the faith. Why do kids keep doing it? Why? Why do the kids keep doing it? Folklorist Alan Dundes, I think it's Dundes, proposed another interpretation. So if you go back to source number 2, I believe, He was using psychoanalytic psychoanalytic folklore theory. So we should treat this as an interpretation, not as an established scientific explanation, right? Dundee's noticed that Bloody Mary was especially associated with prepubescent and adolescent girls. That brings us to Charles's question: were the subjects female? Most people who did this were girls. So here, I'll bring myself big again. So the ritual reflection of prepubescent anxiety, he goes into stating that most of the participants were female. So yeah. I don't know if that link is working. It doesn't look like it's working, Pager CC, but thanks. I don't know why it's not working, but the links are pinned in chat, or that QR code in the upper right-hand corner as well. And if you'd like to know, again, if you haven't been here, if you didn't hear earlier, you'd like to know more about what my channel is or why I'm here doing this, the channel is the core component of the GoFundMe fundraiser, the QR code up there in the right-hand corner. If you'd like to know my story, you can read it there. And if you are feeling led and charitable, you can also do that there, or you can do it in the Cash App or Stream Elements link. And I will check all of those things when I am complete with when I'm completely finished with my content. So she did try to get it out there. I don't know what's happening with my Stream Elements chatbot, but it didn't work. But to go back to that, it was, again, like I said, and like Charles kind of pointed out, it was mostly prepubescent and adolescent girls in their bathrooms, blood, fear, mysterious female figure. He did propose in that writing that the ritual could symbolically reflect anxieties surrounding puberty and menstruation. So that was also in that Dundee's article or book. I think it's a book. But whether he or his specific psychoanalytic interpretation convinces you, that's another question, right? So it could be, it's just another theory, right? I don't think that we can reduce it to that, but the observation is valuable because it does happen amongst young girls, little like elementary, middle school, that type of age, like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. But I don't know that boys have slumber parties like girls do, right? So I think that might also play a part. That's just my, part of what I came to conclude about this, that may have played a part, but I don't know. You have to prove you're brave enough to do it. Someone challenges you. You enter the bathroom, lights go out, door closes. Again, I've said it multiple times. Everyone waits to see whether you're done, whether you finish it or chicken out. And so that makes it more than just like a ghost story or something that you tell around the campfire. It's participatory folklore. You don't merely hear the story, you perform it, you act it out. And I mean, I think that's kind of powerful. Most things require an imagination. This one just requires a dark bathroom and a mirror and maybe a candle. That's it. So we are getting close to the end. See how I changed that there? So we'll go back to the original question. Who is Bloody Mary? We found 3 possibilities. Mary I, the Queen. So Mary I of England. This question is unquestionably historical. She persecuted Protestants. Hundreds were burned during her reign. Her reputation eventually became inseparable from the name that she was given, which was Bloody Mary. We don't have convincing evidence showing that the children's mirror ritual originated as an attempt to summon her, but we do have quite a few correlating things there, right? The second Mary is going to be the folklore woman, Mary Worth, Mary Wales, the murderer mother, the murdered mother, the witch, the woman whose child died. Like she had many different stories. This one did, or these two. The identities appeared in variants of the legend, but they don't lead us neatly to the one documented historical woman. Mary 3, the mirror. And this may be the most interesting Mary of all, because perhaps the identity was never the important part. It was the ritual. Stand somewhere dark, look into a reflective surface, perform prescribed actions, wait for another face to appear. That structure existed in folklore before the modern Bloody Mary legend. Bloody Mary maybe maybe she didn't create the mirror ritual. Maybe she just inherited it and it just became one together. So we'll talk about what actually survived of the Bloody Mary legend. It's pretty strange. Generations of children have performed essentially the same ritual without an institution preserving it. No teachers teach it. No school, no church teaches it. Definitely no church teaches it. No Christian church teaches it. I don't know about them other churches out there, but no schools are teaching it. Parents generally aren't sitting down with their kids and being like, all right, it's time to talk about Bloody Mary. The murderous bathroom ghost or whatever. The lady coming out of the mirror to eat you. We get it from each other as kids. We go to a slumber party and we hear about it. And I think that is what makes it the most interesting, is that it's carried on by children. Adults, we forget about it. We forget unless somebody brings it up. So this is, pretty much something that is majority carried by children. The details mutate, of course. The number of repetitions change. Mary's biography changes. The punishment changes. But the core survives. You have the mirror, you have the darkness, you have the name, and you have an apparition. And perhaps that's because the ritual contains its own reinforcement mechanism. Perform it correctly and stare long enough, and your own visual system may give you something frightening to see. That's almost unfair, right? Folklore found a way to make the human brain advertise the legend for free. I know that I'm kind of nervous about going into that part. I was going to do a part, but I'm going to skip it because I don't think that it's actually relevant. So I was going to give some explanation of the Christian thing and with the psychology, but I don't even want to. So I'm just going to skip it. Where did she come from? Right. We don't know. There are so many variants that I was not able to find anything written by a historian or a folklorian or folklorist that gives a plain and simple answer. It's all a bunch of chasing the rabbit. Anyone that says otherwise, like, definitely act and ask for the evidence, right? Source. Let me see your source. I want your source. Yeah, I'd love to see that. But what we can establish after, with these sources that I've used, is that long before the Bloody Mary modern game, people practiced mirror-based divination. By the 20th century, children's folklore included rituals involving girls entering dark bathrooms and calling figures known by names, including Mary Worth, Mary Wales, and Bloody Mary, as we've seen. The legend accumulated stories explaining who Mary supposedly was. The historical Mary, one, provided an irresistible candidate because she already carried the nickname Bloody Mary. And modern psychology demonstrated that prolonged mirror gazing under low illumination can itself produce bizarre facial perceptions. So Bloody Mary may not have one origin. She may be a folkloric collision, per se. Ancient fascination with reflections, divination, Halloween courtship rituals, children's initiation games, historical memory, religious imagery, fear, psychology, and a little storytelling, and all eventually staring back at us from the same piece of the glass. So let's do a chat check real quick before we get into the last part. Slumber parties? No chick ever asked me to attend one, and I have 3 pillows. Honestly, all of this seems outside what is likely to be true. The closest thing I get to in this area is Jung's collective unconscious. I mean, I like Jungian stuff, but that's for a different day. I've never been to a slumber party, DSD, ABG. Can you invite me to one? You're goofy. Perhaps Graham, hello. Welcome in, sir. It's good to see you again. He says perhaps today's mirror is just a computer monitor. That's what I said. Like, I tried not to look at myself every time I said it, right? I was not wanting to look. And again, I still have not looked to my left where my window is because I'm afraid that she's just like up against my window like that. But that scared you. Yeah. So, all right, let's get to the end of this. This was a long one. Let's see, about an hour and a half. You know what's happening. We got to get this done. All right. So, maybe that's why Bloody Mary survived when thousands of other childhood legends disappeared. You don't need to believe the story. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't even need another person. You just need darkness, a mirror, your own reflection. And there's something deeply unsettling about discovering that if you stare at your own face long enough, your brain can turn it into something not familiar. And perhaps Bloody Mary was never hiding behind the mirror. Perhaps the frightening part was always what the mirror could make us see. But that leaves us with one final question. If the science can explain why a face might appear, does that explain why generations of people were drawn to mirrors in the first place? So why did cultures separated by centuries repeatedly imagine reflective surfaces as places where hidden things could be revealed? Why did young women once stare into mirrors, hoping to see someone they would someday love? While generations later, children stared into them, terrified they might see someone dead, and somewhere along the way, who became Mary? We can explain the illusion, we can trace pieces of the ritual, and we can identify historical candidates. I almost said conduct, I don't know why. Historical candidates. But the exact moment when an old mirror tradition became Bloody Mary, or with the exact moment, it remains unclear. But I think it's strangely appropriate because after centuries of people staring into the glass looking for her, Bloody Mary still refuses to show us exactly who the hell she is, because that was the first question. Who the hell is Mary? So I had a lot of fun. I did not realize, again, that I was going to get into some religious stuff there. That was a little scary. I did actually cut out a second section that I was going to share. I do apologize for that, but I do believe the sources for that section are, yeah, you can find some of that there. All right. So let us do a chat check and let's do a grift link check. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Hello. All right, there we go. All right, none there. None there. All right, wow. I guess I'll just be doing content over here for free. I mean, what else am I going to do, right? It'd be like that sometimes. Everybody's over there playing. That's where I'm about to send you when I'm done. Just so you know, where everybody's over playing. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. There we go. Okay. All right. That's what I think, Graham. That's what I think. I mean, I think that as far as that ritual, I really did I just do a Karen? Why are you doing that? No, my link wouldn't load. Shut up. But I really would like something that gives like when, because it has to be documented, right? And you're not going to know unless it's been documented, which really sucks. But I would really like to know like the first point at which somebody brought the mirror in, right? Because she was savage. She definitely fits the profile for someone you don't want, especially if you're a Protestant. God knows what she'd do with the Ortho Bros. Don't be looking in the mirror saying her name, Ortho Bros. You sure don't know what she'd do to you. I know what she'd do to us lowly prots. This lady was crazy. But yes, I think so too. I think as far as the mirror and Mary, I do think that that's where it came from. I'm sure, like we already know. I'm not going to go into them because they do take us down. They get us chasing religious rabbits. And I am not a religious rabbit chaser. I try as hard as I can to stay out of religious rabbit holes. But so I treaded carefully with this one because this one actually goes into a really, really tumultuous rabbit hole with the Church of England and the Catholic Church of Rome. And then the Protestant thing happened. And so that's like a huge historical event in church history. No matter what kind of Christian you are, that's a huge event in church history. And I really try hard to stay away from that. But I hope I did it. I hope I did well. I hope I didn't say too much or too little to kind of tie it in, but leave it out. Charles says, I'm looking into the glass was a book. Oh, I'm looking into the looking glass, but that's Alice. Alice. That's Alice. But it was the same. It's the same book. If Into the Looking Glasses, you're talking about the other Alice story. And I do believe the other Alice story is also written by the same author that wrote Alice in Wonderland. I mean, I'm sitting at my fucking computer. I should just look it up. See, not kid friendly. Not kid friendly. I just said the F-bomb. I dropped it pretty hard. Oh my God, I forgot what I was going to look up because I realized that I dropped the F-bomb. That was not very ladylike of me. I'm over here looking all ladylike, and that was not very ladylike of me. I didn't yawn at you guys, though. You didn't. Never mind. Okay, we're all adults here. I was going to look up. Son of a bitch. What was I going to look up? Alice, Into the Looking Glass. If they were the same author. No. Alice Through the Looking Glass. And yes, it actually is. But I want the book. There it is. Yes, it is. It is also written by Lewis Carroll. Lewis, yeah. Not C.S. Lewis. Lewis Carroll. Me love me some C.S. Lewis, though. Absolutely. Lewis Carroll. Not you got them mixed up. You got them mixed up. Narnia is C.S. Lewis. And then there's Lewis Carroll. That's Alice. Goofball. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think you guys answered some of the questions that I had. The men don't seem to know the Bloody Mary story, but you guys seem to be relatively knowledgeable about Mary Tudor and King Henry VIII, as I thought you would be. Hi, Missing Maud. Hi. Welcome in. Thank you. I'm so glad you weren't too scared. She hit the like on the screen. I forgot to show you guys she's here. She wasn't too scared of the thumb. Thumb, 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 thumb. Okay, that was gay. Too many carols, and it's not even Christmas. That's right. You did? Shut up. Did you send it through the tip elements thingy? I'll check this one. I don't see. Maybe not here yet. I'm waiting. Oh, you did that one. Okay, I can. Yes. Okay. Okay, that one will take a minute to show up. But yeah, hold on. Let me refresh the page. Thank you so much. I see it now. Thank you so much, Missing Maud, for the big 20. I appreciate you. Yay, thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I send you a little message back. Oh. Whatever. Go away. Anyways, I already told you thank you. I was just going to say thank you again. Thank you again. All right. So, Missing Maud, did you ever do the Bloody Mary ritual? Or Mary Worth or Mary Wales? Did you ever do one of the go in the bathroom and look in the mirror things when you were like 10, 11, 12, anywhere in there? Yeah. I did it at slumber parties. We did all kinds of things. And we put things in each other's hair when we fell asleep. Somebody put, one time at a slumber party, somebody put acne cream like in my hair. Like they put it in my hair. It was all in my, first of all, somebody's parents had to be so mad because I think it had to be expensive. It was the expensive kind way back in the day when I was young, because I'm old now. Do you remember? Nothing happened, but I saw a white glowing dog man about 10 years ago. He was about 8 foot tall. What kind of hallucinogens were you on, ma'am? Yeah, I have sleep paralysis. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to we cannot talk about that right now. I'll go to bed thinking about it, dude. I will. There are ways to manage that. And it's also ways to manage my epilepsy, so I'm all good. Like I haven't had an episode in a while. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. I know that's right. I got up and listen, okay, we'll talk about it then. The last time it happened, I was able to get up because I was like, fuck this. These are demons, dude. That's where I was at. That's where I was at with it. Like, these are fucking demons and they're in my space and they need to get the fuck out. And I got out of bed, and you guys know what Dementors look like, right? That's what these things look like. They look like Dementors. But this was the first time that the apparition that appears during my sleep paralysis looked like that. They were different. I never had seen them like that before, but I also have never been able to get up during an episode. And I got up and I walked through those Dementor looking things and I was like, get the fuck out, Satan, not today. I walked straight through. I'm like, get the fuck out. My boyfriend was downstairs in the kitchen and I walked up to him and I said, there's something evil here and it needs to fucking go. I walked back upstairs and went to bed. That was the last one. I think that was the last one where I like actually saw something, because most of the time it's just I'm in the middle of a night terror and I come out of it too soon and I hyperventilate, hysterically crying, like hiding under the blankets type shit, because I know that there's something there just waiting for me to see it type shit. But again, you're right, Missing Mod. You're right. You're right. Like, get out of here, Satan. I ain't even playing with you today. The fuck out. See? Yeah. Dude, my first husband, I've been married twice. I'm sure he can tell you about like one of the first worst ones I ever had. So, okay, this is Dark Origins, right? We'll talk about something dark. It's not too scary. I'm managing. My stress management is good. There's nothing traumatic going on in my life today. So I'm all good. Excuse me. The only evil thing in my house are my one cat, because my guy is like super chill, but this bitch, she's crazy evil. She's probably got a demon in her, but she keeps it inside. She don't let it out. But okay, let's talk about some Dark Origins. Okay, so shit, Charles, you're distracting me. So, like, one of the very first ones I ever had was I pregnant? I was either pregnant. No, I wasn't. My first daughter was just a baby. She wasn't even a year old yet. And I like woke up like hyperventilating. I thought I was awake. Who fucking knows? But at the end of my bed, there was the silhouette of a man. And it was black. And he had no face. I could see, though, that he was wearing like overalls, the type of overalls that like a mechanic wears, those type of overalls. But that's all that I could see. And I hid under my blanket. And I told my husband, I was like, he's there. I know he's there. Something's there. I'm like I saw something standing there. So, you know, this whole seeing shit in the mirror, like, a person's psyche can really get to them, especially if they have stuff, right? They have things in their past, or maybe something really bad is like they're in a really bad circumstance and the stress can really fuck with your brain. And then you sit in the dark bathroom and stare at the mirror with the candle flickering. Like, you don't have to say shit. You just have to look. And by the report, according to the documented reports given when, Giovanni Caputo did his like research experiment, it was within a minute that people said that they started to experience some kind of shift in what they were seeing in the mirror. Yeah, I don't fuck with that shit. They get the fuck out. Like, I don't do that shit. Praise Jesus. On a real note, like on a real note. Some people be carrying demons with them, and when you get them people around you that are carrying demons, I mean, you people, I carry my own. Like I'm sure I had my own. But some people, they had carried them with them. You got to get them people out your life. They bringing their demons with them, because I don't think that was my own demon. I'm just saying. I don't think that demon was there for me. I don't know. Yeah, amen. You missed the whole stream? Good thing there's replay. I know, that's right. I'm sorry I didn't give you guys a spooky. I think I don't know. I had fun. Well, thank you. Yeah, like people call you crazy, bro. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck. I know what I see. I know it was something, and it scared the shit out of me a lot. I didn't have it just when I was an adult. I had it when I was a kid. I have night terrors. Shit happened to me, man. Like, I have dark origins. That's why I'm dark side deaconess. Also, I'm hoping to. I did an interview on Wednesday with my wonderful moderator, Cypher, our wonderful friend who offers so much assistance to other creators. And I am set to release that interview on Sunday. I have been thinking about going live and presenting the video of the interview, because there's a couple of things that I actually don't want in the video, but it's not that I don't want my responses to his questions in the video. I did some pretty ugly crying because there was some pretty deep questions. And I think that now that I know, like I didn't know what his questions were going to be. I told him to keep those from me because I wanted my responses as organic and natural as possible. But I really don't want you guys seeing me cry as much as possible. I already cry happy tears sometimes, which is great. But I in no way, shape, or form want anybody seeing me cry like I did. I tried to stop it. I really did. It was there. I'm sorry, I'm a woman. I fucking cry. My bad. Listen, I've been spending them. I'm trying to be like most women at this point. I spent too much time not being like them. I just want to be this one. I just want to be a girl. I just want to be feminine and retarded like the rest of them. Am I right? Look, she cries too. She cries all the time. Is that what you make? Hold on, I got a joke for you. I hope you like this one. Is that what you make your your hydro paints with, your tears? Do you cry into the acrylic paint to make it liquid? That's what I would do. I have a whole cauldron of other people's tears. No, I'm just kidding. Missing Maud and her tearful. What's it called again? What is that painting called that you do? Missing Maud. She said she could. She cries so much that she could. I forget what it's called, the technique. because I just use regular acrylic paint. I've never did the fluid. Okay, the fluid. Yes, you can make your fluid acrylic with your tears. I'd cry, but I'm a dude, so I swear instead a lot. Listen, I don't know what happens. You get me angry, like actually angry, I start to cry. I will actually start to cry. I will beat a motherfucker's ass while I'm bawling my eyes out. It is not, I don't know what happens. I just cry. Oh, you're back. How was the debate? You miss Bloody Mary every single time. He does this to me. Yeah, I am a crybaby. Listen, it's happening right now. I'm laughing so hard that I'm starting to cry. So if you actually, and this is not to say like that people don't actually, he said, no, I'm sad. I'm sad for you. We had so much fun. But like it's just a chemical reaction, right? Like some people have when you actually like the crying, like it's not, people don't cry just because they're sad, right? So it's an emotional, or it's a chemical reaction, and some people have a more what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? External expression of that connection, or that the fuck, synapses, is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know why that's not working, by the way, but the links are in chat. Thank you, Crystal Crusader. Pager CC came through and tried to do the same thing, but I don't know what's going on with that, because when I look at my chat commands, they're all active. So I don't know what's wrong with them. Maybe I should do this. Hold on. I'm going to go through and turn them all off and turn them all back on. Oh, you bitch. Or not. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But it's not working. Here, I'll turn that one off and turn it back on. Activate. Holy Spirit, activate after this conversation. Am I right? Or am I right? All right, try it again, CC. Jake and some stupid chick. I know, I kind of want to watch it, though, because it was about feminism. Yep, there they be. There they go. There they go. Hey, let's get them. Let's get them donos. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's not working. Didn't you say that, didn't you say like last week or something that Jake was having issues with his stream elements? Or somebody was having, yeah, that one worked. That one worked. What the fuck? What the hell? Yes, you did tell me that. Yeah, I remember that. I don't know. I have attempted to fix that one many, many times, and it doesn't seem to ever work. So I've just been pinning the fucking links in the chat, and they're all in the description of the video as well, including the GoFundMe link if you don't have a device that you can scan that QR code with. Yeah, keep laughing at me. Go ahead. Fucking sadists. I'm just kidding. I like you guys. Just kidding. Oh, I just kicked my cat. Not the evil one. The chill one. The chill one's a dude. Typical, right? The crazy one. She just needs to be fixed. She might chill out when she gets fixed. We usually do chill out when they take away all our parts. Lowers our estrogens. Look, that one worked. DSD will play one of your songs for a $10 dono. What the fuck? Yes, I will. Absolutely. You just tell me you just send it to me and I'll play it for you. And you can request a DSD original song for $5 dono. $5. Why are all of them working except the Crafty Bags? Are they both chill? I mean, he gets playful sometimes, but he's not. I mean, he's not like angry. My female cat, she'll jump up on the table, look at you, and just be like, "What?" And whatever is there, she's just like, "What?" Wipes it right off. She knocks my medicine off my bedstand, my bedside table, all the time. She just stands there and looks at me, and she's like, knocks it off. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. See? Not kid friendly. Not at all. As a matter of fact, I'm about to do something not kid friendly. So, I will do that. Are you assuming? Buddha! What up? Yeah, assuming the cat's gender. He's a hairy boy. His gender is hairy because he's a Maine Coon mix. He's really coming into his like full Maine. He's 4 years old. Is he 4? Oh my God, is he 4 years old already? He did just turn. Wait a minute. My cat's birthday is tomorrow. Yeah. Eduardo, my cat, his birthday is tomorrow. He's 4. He's about done growing then. He's nice filled in mane for a Maine Coon mix. He's a tuxedo. He's beautiful. There's a possibility that he is not a Maine Coon mix and he could be. Bye. She's on a break right now. Like, she's not like caterwauling, but she's still in her cycle. They have like a couple of, she like chills out for a few days and then it happens for a few more days and then it stops for like a week or two. The spring is bad. So there's that. Witches have evolved into mothers with children. What the fuck? I have a long-haired gray cat named Muffy. I had a dog named Muffy. Oh my God. Twins. He's very introverted. The other is a gray tabby named Littlefoot. He's very friendly, but both cats hide from everyone except my father and I. That's funny. Eiley doesn't really like strangers at all. And if you try to pet her, she hates you. That's it. Like, if you try to touch her without her, like, coming to you first, she automatically hates you. That's all. Cat lady. Anyways, I'm going to do something adult. You guys want to listen to some music? Let me unshare the screen. Otherwise, it'll make the fucking audio double. I'm pretty sure that was what it was. I don't think you can share I don't know. That's what I did to fix it, was I stopped sharing my screen and we don't have any more audio doubling. So, my parents have barn cats. They're like indoor and outdoor cats, but they have like a large, not a large yard, but a yard big enough. Okay, fine. Fine, your request shall be granted, sir. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. For your charitable service, sir, this one goes out to Crucible Crusader. Charles just left. He'll be back. You're like, you waited for me to leave before you played it? I'm still here, but you know, I can't do this on the camera or I'll get in trouble. And you guys won't be able to watch any more of me. How sad you would be, right? Wham! But for now, here's this.
Reaching up and reaching out. We don't do this just for clout. Let's meet this goal like they score in FIFA. We do this cause it's what we're all about. We've got goals, you pay tolls. YouTube trolls can go back to your holes. Better make the goal bell ring, or how long Nate is gonna sing. Boobies, boobies. You can't see my boobies, boobies. Boobies, boobies. Boobies, boobies. Let's see my boobies, boobies.
Boobies. One's a banger. I was listening to it in my house today while I was cleaning. Oh my god. My neighbors fucking hate me. No. I think he's on a long drive. I don't know. But also, you know what else is on? Easy's on. He's still on. I think everybody left when I started playing my grip track. I did. Actually, I did. Witchery, isn't it? Witchcraft. Better make the doorbell ring. Her home is promising. I found them in random places of my sons and threw the shit away. I was like, this is fucking dumb. What the fuck am I doing? This is dumb. We're gonna listen to it again, and I'm going to show you guys the scripty bag goal and stuff. So there's that. Today is the 8th. We are nowhere near it. But every doll hair, every piece of coinage that has been sent my way, every charitable donation is greatly appreciated.
Reaching up and reaching out. We don't do this just for clout. Let's meet this goal like they score in FIFA.
Dude, I'm just not. I was that mom when I was young. The 18th. I go in on the 18th. Yeah, the 18th.
You can't see my boobies, boobies.
Hey, come in circles.
Boobies, boobies.
Yay!
Boobies, boobies.
I'll be back on camera in a minute, and then I'm gonna do my little exit. Oh shit, I found a seed in my weed. What? No way! What? Nice. I wonder if this is the homegrown stuff that I wonder. See, not kid friendly. I probably shouldn't have said that either. I found a seed in my weeds. Yeah, I did my best to stay away from the religious conflict that story took me to, but it's quite interesting. Crusader, I had no idea, actually. Oh, that was bright. I had no idea that Bloody Mary was somehow tied back to Mary Tudor. Like, I had no idea that was where it was going to take me, but it was so popular. And one of the sources, which one was it? It was this one. An article written by a Filipino American student at USC in 2023 wrote an article about it. And so, I mean, it's still happening. So it's such a widespread thing that, like, I couldn't, down the rabbit hole on Dark Origins. Yeah. So I almost was going to put some of it in for the purposes of putting it up against the psychological stuff that, was it Dundee's? No, not Dundee's. Well, Dundee's kind of he kind of dabbles in it too, but the Giovanni Caputo, so I mean, it was really interesting. I had no idea it was going to take me there, but I didn't want to not do the story. I actually had that section in there and I left it out. I actually made a conscious decision to leave it out midstream, just left the whole part out. It didn't take away from any of the rest of it. Everything was still connectable. So I just left it out. Didn't want to muddy the waters there. Well, you could give me some folklore monsters from Europe. You could suggest some to me, and I might cover them. I usually grab ones that I don't, really know about. So I would cover one. I would take a suggestion and do one for you. All right. Well, so we talked about Bloody Mary. I think we talked a little bit. Missing Maud said that, she did it. I don't know if Common Circles did it when she was young. I think she said she did. AVG said that she didn't participate because she didn't see it being good either way. And the guy and Charles pointed out or asked the question and kind of pointed out that it was probably a female thing. And yeah, that was one of the things that was found in some of the study, is that it was mostly associated with pubescent females or right around the age of that. Nothing. You didn't do anything. I couldn't remember whether or not you had said that you had done this ritual or not as a young girl. But yeah, so it's something that a lot of people have learned, have done as kids. But my biggest question to my audience is, would you actually do it right now? Would you, after this stream, put down your device, go in the bathroom, turn the lights off, maybe take a candle in there, and just stare at yourself, would you do it? Would you do it? If I dare you, would you do it? Yeah, she said, yeah, I ain't scared of that bitch. No. If it's, are they religious things? Are they gonna lead me down like some of the historical evidence that is associated with like the origins of stuff like this, as we have found, leads us down. It makes us chase religious rabbits, and I don't like religious rabbit holes. I try to stay away from those. I don't have the authority to teach on things like that, so I don't want to do it. Yeah, I know. I know that's right. Yeah, I wouldn't do one of them then. So it just, I try to stay away from that. It's not within my scope of authority to teach. I try to stick with more of the things that it's good. I'm good with. So, but again, I take suggestions as long as, especially even Conspiracy Grove, I take suggestions, but I don't do political. And please make sure, I mean, I'll look at it. If you don't know if there's a political conspiracy theory attached to a certain conspiracy theory or religious, I'll look into it and figure it out. But she was like, I'll do it right now for $20. But the funds have to go to DSD. There's 3 ways you can do that. They're all pinned in the chat. I'll look at them. I'll definitely look at them. I may not do them on the show, but I'll definitely have a look. I'm always down to look at stuff I've not learned about. I'm an info junkie, an avid learner, avid life learner. Always looking for new things to stimulate the brain, right? I was sorry. Potter. I was trying to summon it. Whoever joined as I had that up on the fucking screen. That's gold. Oh my God. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe look more into this. I give you the sources. Get you looking, girl. I give you I give you a little bit. You go play around with it. See what you find. See what you come to conclude. I think that I think that divination rituals have taken many forms over the years. And that's why I think that there are so many that are associated with reflection. So I am not the expert. I am just a middle-aged woman over here. All my kids are grown. Nothing else to do. I don't have kids to keep me busy. I don't have them to keep my brain occupied anymore. So here we go. And this is the ultimate rabbit hole right here inside here. No, I got one. He's still here. I mean, kind of. He's still here. I mean, he is still here. But like, he doesn't need me for much. That's a P. Is that Greek or Russian? That one. Greek or Russian? I sometimes can't tell the difference. I was learning Greek at one point. I stopped. I probably should do it again. Pater. Okay, yeah. But yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yes, Greek. Yay, I was right. Yay, that's what I thought it was. Ah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought it was. I got the Duolingo app, you know. Mm-hmm. Anyways. All right. So we found out that, yes, common circles will do it, but you have to pay me $20. So if I get that $20, I'll tell her to do it. And she'll take a video. So, anyways. She said, yep, that's the deal. The stories we inherit are rarely just stories. Sometimes they're fragments of history. Sometimes they're warnings. Sometimes they're old beliefs wearing new names. And sometimes they're reflections. Tonight we went looking for a ghost in the mirror and found a Tudor queen, forgotten divination rituals, children's folklore, psychology, and centuries of human fascination with our own reflections. But that's what happens when we stop asking whether a story is simply true or false and start asking why humans kept telling it. The darkness always has an origin. And sometimes when we follow it far enough, we discover that the thing staring back at us isn't the monster, it's us. So I'm going to end this the way that I always do. But first, I want to let you know that you need to keep questioning the stories you've been told. Keep following the evidence. And when you find something strange hiding at the edge of history, you know what we do. We follow it into the dark. So, with that, we will definitely end this the way we always do. Back to the smooth endings, because boy, I'll tell you what, with that audio doubling, I was not having a good time ending this stream very smoothly, and I don't like it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hide that. I'm going to hide that. And well, I'm going to say, from one weirdo to the rest, because I'm a weirdo. And if you're here and I'm here, you're a weirdo too. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I did it wrong. Fuck off.